The third and final round of the West Florida Golf Tour Florida Championship has all the right ingredients to be a round to remember. Bunch leaderboard, a tough course setup, cold conditions are going to play a part in who walks away with the year's trophy. Let's take a look at the leaderboard of the completion of yesterday's round. Before the round started, we caught up with some of the players who were still in range of the overnight leaders to ask how they would approach a day like today.
I think it's more about just giving myself chances. You can't really go out and say I'm going to try and shoot 66 or 65 because it's harder to do that. You just got to go out and give yourself chances. So that's more what my mindset is, to just give myself as many chances as possible.
You know, this year I've been lucky enough to be in contention sometimes, and I've learned that the first time when I got too into what other people were doing. And the cool thing about golf, unlike all the other sports, is you always have an opponent in every other sport: basketball, football, tennis. In golf, all you can control is what you're doing. So really, obviously, if you just go play the best round you can play, if that's 72, if that's 65, whatever you shoot, and live with that, I mean, that's all you really can do. If you're in the final group, you can kind of look and see when you're 3 back, you have to just go shoot the best you can shoot, really.
The last couple of years, sometimes I'll just stay on the safe side, get that check, but I realized that I love winning. I really do love winning, so I'm going to go for birdies. And hey, if I make bogeys, that happens, but at least I played to win. I won't play not to lose, so I'll go for it.
The West Florida staff ensured that the players would have to be at their best in the final round. The course had the most difficult setup of the week, with pins tucked and tees pushed back.
Their players are in for a treat today. Okay, I took it easy on them the first 2 days. The course is set up pretty difficult today. There's chances for some scoring opportunities, but for the most part, World Woods is going to rear its ugly head today. The third hole today, it's playing about 122 yards. It's a front right pin, but I've already seen a couple birdies there today. That'll be a good chance early in the round to be able to get off to a good start. Also on 15, it's going to be drivable again today, but the tee box is actually up 1, so it'll be closer to 280. So most guys will hit 3-wood in there. So it's a chance to make eagle down the stretch. But in between that, it's going to be tough. We have a lot of tough pins out there today, and the course is playing significantly longer than it did the first 2 days.
Right before his tee off, we caught up with the leader, Adam Schenk, and he talked to us about his strategy for the day.
I'll just try and keep doing what I'm doing. If I'm playing well, I should have a good opportunity. But I mean, if I think I'm right around the leader, 1 off or something, then I'll just maybe be a little bit more aggressive, but just do the things that I've done to get me here, and then whatever happens in the end just happens.
All the spectators were in for a wonderful round of golf. All players set to take on the lead. Even though the conditions weren't supposed to be prime for the scoring, this talented field immediately put pressure on the leaders by coming out quick starts. Charlie Dalsman was off to the races when his approach narrowly missed the green, but an easy up and down brought him 1 shot closer to the lead. The par 5 fourth was going to be an opportunity for the longer hitters to really make up a couple of shots on the field. Doug Letson and Samuel Chavez showing us how par 5 should be played. Chavez, just missing the green on the right, chipped it up to 6 feet, and had this for birdie. And after a great approach, left himself about 40 feet for eagle. The quiet lefty showed off his superb lag putting skills and walked off the 4th only a couple back of Schenk. As the groups passed by the 4th, a lot of players took advantage of the par 5 and walked away with birdies. Both players in the last group found the fairway and had clear approach shots to this elevated green. The overnight leader came up a bit short, and after some serious deliberation, decided to use the old Texas wedge from the fringe. ball came up 10 feet short and Schenk opened up the door for his playing partner Chris Nagel, who after a wonderful approach had a 20-footer up the hill for eagle. Winner of the cup it was, and Schenk, who enjoyed a 2-shot lead entering this final round, suddenly had to make a 10-footer to maintain his 2-shot lead. Even though the course was set up pretty tough, the talented field showed really how good of players they are. A couple of guys really making a run at the lead. The 10th at Wildwoods Golf Club seems to be a straightforward par 3, but with a slight elevation change and swirling winds, distant control is no easy feat. One of the players to make a run at the lead was Robert Rahana. The Big Break alum is known for his power, and as to his disbelief, his tee shot sailed over the 10th green, leaving him with a tough up and down. The firm greens took another victim as Rahana's chips released 20 feet past the pin, and this costly bogey drained him of all momentum he had gathered during his front 9 charge, and even after some late birdies, he wouldn't be able to catch the leaders. Schenk with a solid 2 under front 9, hit a great approach shot into the 10th, leaving this for birdie. Lamb was one of the players who made a move during the front 9. The stoic lefty who started the day at 2 under raced to 7 under after the turn. He would have to dig deep to keep his round going. On the 12th, he pulled his approach right at the green and faced a troubling chip shot with mud on the ball. The shot came up short and Lamb was almost certainly going to walk away with his first bogey. Putting is the great equalizer in golf, and Lamb showed off his skills by draining his par putt from off the green. Moving on to the 15th, a short drivable par 4. Christian Bartolacci had a feeling that there was going to be some fireworks on this hole. He was spot on as players took advantage of the short hole in spectacular fashion. Josh Cheetah, who was in contention heading into today, hit a great drive that just ran past the hole and settled into the rough. He had this approach for his second shot. Oh. 15th, almost playing as a long par 3. Players knew coming to this hole that they would have to take advantage of it. Charlie Dalsman, who after a slightly pulled tee shot, found himself in the sand trap for his second. After showing off some impressive short game skills, he had this short putt for birdie. The final group was feeling the pressure and they had to respond. Schenk was on the tee first and hit an amazing shot to 15 feet. Not out to be outdone, Chris Nagel nearly holed out for a hole-in-one. Both players had chances to walk away with eagles, and for Schenk, it would be a 2-shot cushion heading to the final stretch of holes. As Schenk was heading to the 16th tee, his nearest competitors were finishing up their round on 18. Richard Lamb, who was 8 under for the day and 10 under for the tournament, knew heading to the last that a birdie could put some pressure on Schenk coming in. After a great approach, he had this for birdie. Charlie Dalsman played behind Lamb, also entered the 18th at 10 under par. He missed his approach shot short and knew that a chip-in was a must. Narrowly missing, he would have to wait and see if his and Lamb's total was going to be enough for a playoff. It was all up to Schenk entering the final 3 holes. He had not played these final 3 holes great all week, so he was certainly feeling the pressure. His tee shot on the par 3 16 found the green, but he left himself a long tricky putt for birdie. The long lag putt was certainly no 2 putt. He displayed great touch and left himself a tap in for a 3. The pressure was still on and the players in the clubhouse still had a chance after Schenk blotched his approach shot on 17 way right into the bunker. Again, his short game saving him. Schenk hit his shot to 8 feet and had this putt for par. He confidently knocked in it for a great save and a 2-shot lead into 18th. He had played the 18th terribly all week, and his tee shot proved that his hole had his number. A wayward tee shot spelled certain disaster, but the golf gods played kindly, and Schenk got a fortunate kink out of the trees. They were given an open approach shot to the green from the waste bunker. He did what he needed to do in finding the putting surface, and the 2015 Q School graduate had 3 putts for the win. Only 2 shots were needed, and Sheng survived the final stretch and went home with the 2016 West Florida Golf Tour's Florida Championship Trophy. After a fantastic round but narrowly missing out on the win, we asked Richard Lamb what was his feelings on today's round.
On the 9th or 10th hole, I birdied both those holes to go 5 under on 9 and 6 under through 10. And I knew that put me where the leaders started the day, so I knew if I kind of kept it going the last 7 or 8 holes, I'd have a chance. Obviously, Adam played well today, and I kind of ran out of holes. I wish I could have had a couple more holes to give him a run, but he played good.
It's exciting. It's always exciting to win. I mean, this was a really good field, good tournament, good course. We had to hit some good shots. You know, kind of like Rick said, it was just nice to come and knock all the rust off. And actually, I ended up playing really solidly. I mean, better than I expected to this week. Fortunate, caught a couple breaks today on the last hole. I had a ball kick out in the sand where it could have been in the trees, and I could have made a double or maybe a bogey. But I was fortunate enough it ended up in the sand and came away with a victory.
After a fantastic week, we caught up with the tour director of the West Florida Golf Tour and asked him what's ahead for the tour.
We have another major coming up at the end of the year. We have a smaller event. It's a 2-dayer instead of a 3-dayer at Bobby Jones. That's next month. And then the Pinellas County Open, which will be our inaugural event there. It'll be the first time. It's at a country club of Bardmore. That'll be in April. We have a lot of 1-dayers, 2-dayers coming up. We go to Lake Javita next week, which is always a good player favorite. Again, just keep trying to put the events on the schedule so that the players have a place to train.